From the Far Beyond Driven release, that is Pantera with I'm Broken, some angry shit that still stands 20 years later.
So good, man.
20 years, dude.
I know, we're old, dude.
But, you know, Pantera to me,
yeah,
being that we're old, dude, it's still the new rock.
Yeah, dude, I'm like that too. You know, for me, everything became the new stuff in like 1992. That's when everything, you know, I look at albums like LA Guns, Vicious Circle as new LA Guns. Meanwhile, there's probably 10 albums since then. But, you know, I look at that as that's like the difference between the 80s and everything else up to now.
Right.
You know, I consider new. Dude, and bands that are now getting to be that age, there's a lot of them that I still think of them as brand fucking new. Korn. Korn's like 20 years old.
Yeah. And
I still look at them as like very new music, you know. Korn, Disturbed, all that shit. It's all fucking new to me. Love it, though.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, being that we've talked about chicks tonight, you might want to move over to Europe.
Okay.
Because the chicks over there might be more your speed.
Okay, why?
British girls are among the heaviest binge drinkers in Europe.
Right.
British girls are among the worst binge drinking in Europe, a study has shown. English, Welsh, and Scottish teenagers place highly in a drinking league table. Each country was ranked in the top 6 places among 36 European countries.
Right.
So the chicks like to drink. And you know what happens after they're done drinking, right?
Yeah, then they fuck.
Exactly. That's why I'm thinking that maybe if, you know, the brothel doesn't come near you, you might have to go to Europe because you got some drunk-ass chicks over there.
I like the sound of this.
Teenage girls in the UK are some of the worst binge drinkers in Europe. England, Wales, and Scotland were placed in the top 6 places in a drinking league table of 36 European nations of adolescent girls. It comes despite binge drinking rates among British youngsters dipping in recent years. Girls are also more likely to drink more heavily than the boys.
Right.
They like to drink.
I question that, though. Do you really think that the girls are going to outdrink the guys?
I don't know the answer. I'm just going by what the story says.
No.
Maybe it just goes by. Well, they say it's binge drinking. They're not saying that they can drink more than the guys. Maybe they drink more often than the guys.
Mm-hmm. Or just drink themselves to passing out, even if that's like 4 or 5 drinks.
Exactly.
Okay.
University of St. Andrews scientists compared the alcohol intake of 15-year-old girls and boys between 2002 and 2014. They found in most European nations, including Britain, the number of teenagers who had been drunk on at least 2 occasions had fallen. But teenage girls in the UK remained some of the heaviest drinkers across the continent, including the data featured in the World Health Organization report. More than half of the English teenage girls, that is 54.7%, had got drunk at least twice when figures were the first recorded in 2002. However, this dropped to 30.9% in 2014, meaning England has only dropped 1 place from when it ranked 5th among more than a decade ago.
So they consider being drunk twice as binge drinkers?
At 15 years old, I guess.
Oh, it's 15.
At 15.
Okay.
Wales, at 33.6%, has remained in second place despite the percentage of a 15-year-old girl who admitted being drunk at least twice having almost halved. But Scotland, at 32.9%, has jumped from 5th to 4th. So they get their drink on in Scotland. Boy, what a surprise that is, huh?
Yeah, stunning.
Yeah. Isn't that the stereotype of the people from Scotland?
Yeah, and Ireland and all that.
Yeah, of course. In contrast, only Scotland, that is 32.4%, were named in the top 10 for boys.
Wow.
Wales ranked 13th and England placed at 18th.
What ranks first?
Well, they may get to that. We'll see.
All right.
England at 25.3% dropped from 6th place in 2002, and Wales 28.2% plummeted from 3rd place. Professor Sir Ian Gilmore, chairman of the Alcohol Health Alliance, they actually have a health alliance over there that deals with alcohol.
That's good.
The Alcohol Health Alliance.
Yeah, well, why don't we have a robot health alliance?
Right.
That's what we need.
Exactly. Well, you may have to establish that.
Yeah, maybe I'll establish that for the city of Houston.
Exactly.
The Houston Health Alliance.
Well,
for robots.
maybe you could start small, like the plastic pussy, pussy doll alliance of Twinsburg.
Yeah.
And
the
then,
PPD of T.
Yeah, and then you could branch out to like Akron, and then it could like branch into Cleveland.
It'll be PPO dot.
Right. Anyway, he told the Daily Telegraph drinking habits among young women could be affected by rising anxiety levels.
Okay.
So these girls are worried, I guess.
So just take them off of fucking Facebook, and then they'll be fine.
That's exactly right. I saw some study that the anxiety levels of young people are like through the roof now compared to what they were like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they credit Facebook for creating this anxiety because it's doing this whole comparative thing all the time.
And it's false fear. You read fucking Facebook and you think the sky is falling.
Of
because
course it is.
People don't agree, on anything. Oh my God, Kevin, I touched a tit. The world is over. Men suck. All men should be killed, especially white ones.
Well, that's funny because I do work with somebody who's in a younger category. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that she said, this was like a week or so ago when we were talking about the Kavanaugh thing.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't get confirmed. And
what?
it's just like, well, why? Well, because I just don't like him. Well, why? Why don't you like him? Well, because I just don't.
That's when you're just like, all right.
It's like, is that what Facebook told you?
Yeah.
Facebook told you not to like this guy, so you don't.
Yeah, well, he's getting confirmed. Just suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I know, but see, that's how the influencers work.
I guess. No, those aren't influencers because they're left side.
Oh, that's right. They're on the correct side of the issue.
Yeah. That's how people should be thinking.
Right, exactly.
You're the one that's being influenced by the influencer named Mark Dice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that just flat out statement is, I just don't like him.
Okay, well, good.
Why? What do you know about his record? What do you know about his... it doesn't matter. I just don't like him.
How old is this person?
23.
20? She better get used to the fact that until she's 60 or so, this is going to be her dude. Because he's going to be in there for the next 30 or 40 years.
Exactly. But that's what I'm talking about, though. It's just like, rather than research the issue per se, it's just like, well, what is everybody else saying?
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to like this guy because he's anti-abortion. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I definitely don't like him.
Does she have a pussy hat?
No.
No, she doesn't do that.
No.
Okay. So she's not Me Tooing?
No.
She doesn't know why she doesn't like him?
No.
I mean, she's not saying, well, he must have raped somebody back 30. No reason?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I would rather not engage in those conversations because then it just becomes an emotional thing, and then it's just like, I'm not going to get into this.
Yeah, meanwhile, all you really want her to do is fucking her job.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. You're not inviting her for drinks after work.
But that's the whole thing. It's just like, whatever social media or whatever is going around, that must be the way it really is.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, Denmark placed top of the table for binge drinking among teen girls, with 37.6% of 15-year-olds having admitted to being drunk twice, while Hungary scored the worst for boys. Some 41.2% of the 15-year-olds said they had been drunk at least twice in the They had been drunk at least twice in their lives in the country.
Wow.
So they're starting young.
In Hungary.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dr. Joe Itchley, lead editor of the report, said overall reduction in harmful drinking have been the greatest in the countries that traditionally have had higher prevalences, such as Great Britain and the Nordic region. This makes it clear that change is possible. However, more should be done to ensure that adolescents are effectively protected from the harms caused by alcohol. Young people are regular drinkers at an age where they should not be drinking at all.
Okay.
As we know that any alcohol consumption at this critical development stage in life is especially harmful, policymakers have a responsibility to implement the measures we know are effective, such as limiting access. Limiting access? Isn't that what the laws are supposed to do? You're not supposed to be selling alcohol to minors.
Yeah.
Enforcing age checks and restricting any type of alcohol marketing, including digital marketing.
So what do they think? The kids are going into the store and buying it?
Well, that's the way
that's
what it sounds like.
That's not what's going on at all. The kids are, dude, as a former scumbag kid, you fucking either had a fake ID or more than likely you knew somebody that was old enough, or you stole it from your mom's fucking house.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing that I personally argue against. Mm-hmm. As somebody who was brought up in a two-parent home, and I know a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to be brought up in a two-parent home where the parents actually laid down some ground rules. Mm-hmm. But remember,
I could find a fun and entertaining way to.
Sorry.
remember back in the 80s where we had Spuds McKenzie,
sure,
the dog,
mm-hmm.
and then we had Joe Camel.
Sure.
The cigarette guy. Well, they banned both of those guys, those characters.
Yeah, sure.
Because they quote unquote encouraged young people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a young person back then, never, because of my upbringing and because of, the fortune of having two good parents.
Yeah.
I would have never saw Joe Camel smoking a cigarette and thought, man, I want to be like that cartoon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same way with Spuds McKenzie. Oh, Spuds is like surrounded by chicks in bikinis and drinking beer, man. I want to be like Spuds.
Yeah.
That never influenced me.
Yeah, me either.
But my point to that whole thing is, it's always up to the government to try to raise the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, we got to stop this marketing. We got to stop making it look cool to smoke a cigarette or look cool to drink a drink or whatever the case may be. No, your parents should teach you, hey, little Johnny, maybe you shouldn't smoke. That wouldn't be a good idea for you.
Yeah.
Gee, what a novel concept. But because we live in a day and age with broken families,
mm-hmm.
Most kids don't have the influence of two parents saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't drink until you're like 21 or old enough to make a good decision.
Well, and I'm going to take it one step further, because they put all the responsibility now on the government instead of on the parents. The parents are lazy. Parents don't parent anymore. We've talked about this all the time with the fucking millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have to. When we were growing up, I'll just take winning and losing in a sporting event, whatever your sport was, baseball, basketball, whatever. When you lost, I can only speak for me. When I lost, my first inclination was to fucking throw bats and fucking lose my mind, throw my helmet, be pissed. stomp off, throw a tantrum. And the first time I did that when I was fucking 7 or 8 years old or whatever, my dad put me in my fucking place. He's like, that's not what you fucking do. He's like, fucking act like you've been there before, take it like a man, basically, was what he was saying to me, which is a life lesson, that extended past sports. Now, with the participation trophy, where everybody gets a trophy so that nobody gets offended or any of that bullshit, what does that teach people? It teaches them that they don't, A, have to try hard, B, succeed, or C, do anything to be rewarded. They just have to show up and they'll get rewarded. It doesn't teach any life lesson. There's no life lesson to sport anymore.
None.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have anymore, is that there's been no life lessons on respect, on how to act, on how to succeed, on how to work hard to achieve. All those life lessons have been taken away. And now what do we have? A bunch of fucking slacknut fucking whiny bitches that every time they don't get their way, they fucking whine. That's what we have now.
Or a bunch of jigaboos acting out at a baseball park.
Yeah, as Lou from the Lou said.
Yeah, but again, it's all up to the government to raise the kids, per se.
Yeah, and that's a problem, because without the parents raising the kids, you get what we have now. Bunch of fucking useless pieces of shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I still hold on to the days of Joe Camel and Spuds McKenzie, and I go, man, I wish I could be those dudes.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always do.
Yeah.
Every time I drink a Bud, which is not often because I don't like it very much, but every time I do drink a Budweiser, all I can think of is, man, thank God those Clydesdales showed me.
Right.
Thank God for them.
Right. Let's see here. Karen Tyrell, executive director at the Drug and Alcohol Charity Addiction, said, "It's great that young people are drinking less, but it doesn't mean they're thriving. Other warning lights are flashing, and we need to pay attention to growing problems like self-harm, substance, and poor mental health."
Yeah.
Again, in my growing up experience, mental health was not an issue.
Yeah.
When did mental health start kicking in? When they started saying, this kid's too overactive, we need to put him on Adderall.
Yeah. Oh, I was that kid. I don't know. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I was on Silert, which was before Adderall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely diagnosed as hyperactive, and was fucking. They tried to medicate me, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing was stopping. The truth was that I was hyperactive, maybe I wasn't, but I was just a fucking bad seed.
Yeah.
And thankfully I grew out of it, but I didn't grow out of it until I was, I don't know, 38 years old or something. Honestly, dude, I was
last year.
I haven't been arrested in a while. I was still getting arrested until the last time I got arrested. I was 38 years old. That was the last time I got arrested. And that's when I really kind of pumped the brakes. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. But before that, I was, wild, and I'm still wild somewhat. By comparison, I was drinking at 11 o'clock today. So, I'm still running full speed.
Yeah, but you're driving dogs around.
Yeah, well,
look at you, wild guy.
I mixed in responsibility with fucking, with being wild, at least. Prior to that, I was not responsible, and I was running around like a fucking lunatic.
Right.
At least now I've, built a business ethic and built some businesses, and, I have all the book shit and everything else that I do. I have both sides now. At least there's more balance, I guess.
Sure.
I can't imagine getting arrested today. Ugh, that would suck. Too old for that shit.
Yep. In many areas, it's harder than ever for young people to get help. There are fewer places to turn, and the help that's there often isn't good.
Yeah.
So you had a question here as who's number one?
Yes.
I will read them to you.
Okay.
For the drunk chicks, Denmark rates number 1.
Man, what's going on in Denmark?
If I remember the last time we covered Denmark, they had legal banging animals.
True.
Remember that?
Yeah, so it's just a fucked up place to live.
Yeah, so they drink a lot and they fuck animals.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Wales is number 2. Hungary is number 3. Scotland is number 4. Lithuania is number 5. England is number 6. Estonia is number 7. Chechnya is number 8. Slovenia is number 9, and Malta is number 10, and then our good friend Jan falls in at number 11.
Finland.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that the places that allow drinking at a younger age are not on the list, like France? Doesn't France let people drink like wine or something?
Yeah, they drink like a kind of a watered down wine. It's like a very low alcohol content.
Yeah.
Because their water is bad.
But wouldn't you think that they, because they drink it from when they're a younger age, you would think that they would have more of this, and they're not even in the top 10.
Nope.
I guess if you let it happen, then it's not exciting anymore, so people don't do it.
I guess
so, but interesting.
All right, so there you are.